The 982nd edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Yo, Degenerinos, welcome up to 582. Is that what we decided? Yeah, 582. Of the
982.
982. Oh my
You
gosh.
just knocked off 400 episodes.
Holy moly. Yeah, we're almost at 1,000, ladies and gentlemen. 982 of the MMA Gambling Podcast. It's a good starting to the show. I am Jeff Bandana Fox. With me, Daniel Gumby Vreeland. This dedicated, I know he just got one, but this dedicated to the MMA upside again because he shared that he was among the top 6% of our viewers this year, which led me to ask, who are these other freaks that pay more attention to us than MMA upside? And do they just have us on a loop? It's a scary thought because that guy is committed.
He is the most committed. I refuse
should
to
be committed.
Stats.
He should be committed is what I meant to say.
I think the stats are faulty. I think maybe he's multi-platforming us. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe
that's true.
He's hitting YouTube, he's hitting Spotify, and he's spreading things out. Maybe that's the problem.
As you all should be doing. You should be multi-platforming us for sure. We in case you missed us, we only did 4 episodes last week. In case you missed us, well, we're back to 5 this week. We don't care if there's a holiday. We're going to give you 5 episodes regardless because there's plenty of MMA to cover. Starting with today, this is the finally the dream showdown that we've all been waiting for. Gumby, Brave versus ATF. Finally, eh?
It's not Brave versus ATF. It's Brave and
No.
ATF. It is so Brave does a lot of They do a lot of co-promotions anyway. Yeah. And for people who don't know, it's usually ATFC, to be honest. I know I know Tapology listed at ATF, but ATFC is one of the bigger promotions for, what is it? Kazakhstan? Is it Kazakhstan's big promotion?
I mean, more Fighting Championship is what it stands for. I'll find out for you.
I'm pretty sure it's Kazakhstan's big promotion. Middle
Eastern part of the world. Of course. Uzbek. So yeah, it's
Uzbekistan. Sorry. That's probably different and probably offensive in some way, shape, or form to somebody.
Bukhara, Uzbekistan is the headquarters. So yes.
Yep. So it's Uzbekistan's big. Kazakhstan's big promotion is Octagon with a C. Sorry, I should have got
right. Okay.
But yeah. So it's Uzbekistan's big promotion, and Brave has been pretty good at co-promoting. Like they're all about it, right? Like we saw them go to China and do the same thing. They did so in Romania not that long ago. So like they find like a local promotion and like co-promote with it, which has been a really good way for them to get in as many countries as possible. And here we have them in Uzbekistan 2 days before Christmas.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not sure if Christmas is a big thing in Uzbekistan or not. I'm not really sure.
It's just a weird time for a fighting event. That's all I'm saying. It's just like, usually this is when people take breaks and they're
exactly.
Wednesday fight card, Tuesday fight card.
Yeah. This is super. It's Tuesday. Yeah. Tuesday morning. So yeah, this is super Degen special. We appreciate it, of course, very much so. I would argue any promotion not named the UFC should do joint stuff with anyone who's willing to do it.
I wouldn't say anybody who's willing to do it, but yes, they should be more open to the idea of co-promoting.
Yes, maybe not. Only for Samurai Fighthouse. In that case, then you're like, yes, sign me up. All right, we only got 7 bouts on the card currently. We're going to cover 5 of them. Main event actually is a Brave versus ATFC bout, which is fine. With one person, there's one person of the 10 fighters we're going to talk about in full. One person's name doesn't end with a V at the end of it. So I think 8 of them end in OV as well. So yeah, it's a very OV and AV heavy fight card. So we should probably dive into it after. Reminder, you can get access to all our free picks and podcasts in one convenient place, the SGPN app. Download it for free in your app store. Just type in SGPN. All right, as Gumby said, we're going to Uzbekistan just before Christmas. We'll have time to get back. Don't worry. Bukhara, Uzbekistan, because we're just virtually going there. It's Brave CF 103 and ATF C. Gumby says it's C, even though the poster doesn't say it. 27. Bukhara, Uzbekistan. Never been there. Have you ever been there, Gumby?
No, of course not.
Of course not. All right, Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. This is a super Degen special. Hopefully you are not working this week. good viewer and or listener, hopefully your only job is to gamble and watch MMA, because this is a perfect spot for that. So 6 a.m. start time. Brave, is it pay-per-view on their site, or is it?
So
YouTube?
they usually do. They usually, the last event they had, they did everything free on YouTube until it got to title fights. So
Okay.
I've got. I'm not 100% sure, but I still got a little bit of hope that you might be able to get most of the stuff free before it gets behind the paywall for some of the top fights.
Because the MMA upside will be asking us, how do I watch this? So maybe I'll get the intern to check into it. Well, I'll gives you some winning plays. No odds yet. Usually we can get Brave odds, so I would assume we would get odds for this event as well.
Especially being the Tuesday before Christmas with nothing else running.
What else are they gonna? Oh yeah, that's Christmas was always actually Christmas during the pandemic was the darkest time of all for there was like Russian female volleyball. I think people were.
I think we watched Romanian. We did a Romanian badminton thing. Yeah, one time.
Yep. It's true. Dark times, fun times though. But yes, dark times. All right, let's dive into the card, the OVs and the EVs and all that stuff. We're starting with 2 OVs going at it. Sanjarbek Erkinov. He is from Uzbekistan, so hometown crowd will be in his favor. He's fighting Zagid. Gaidarov, he is from Bahrain. They're fighting at welterweight 170, 3 5-minute rounds. Gaidarov is 6-2, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions, so he's finished everyone. He's never been finished himself, though. 2-1 in Brave. He's won 6 of 7. He did lose his last bout. That was back in December of last year, so he's been out of action for a year now. He used to fight at 185. Erkinov is 10-6 with 1 no contest, 7 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 1, submitted 5 times. Not durable. 4-0 with 1 no contest in ATFC. So yeah, this is another. Actually, he's also a Brave fighter. 1-2 in Brave. So kind of promotion versus promotion here. He's won 2 straight and 4 or 5. Past 2 wins, both via TKO. He's not lost since September 2022. Used to fight at 155 and 185, 5 inches taller than Gaidarov. How hard is it to find ATFC fighter film?
No, it was easy to find things on all these guys. The only thing you have to do is just be a little bit more creative with your search, because sometimes stuff comes up and it is not using the alphabet you're used to seeing, so you have to work with some translations. But once you learn how to get around that, it's pretty easy. For me, I have a feeling
our listeners and viewers are very creative with their searches, don't you think?
Yes, correct. Yes. I mean, they came here, and we used to get some weird search terms.
Grandma's here.
Yeah, remember the weird search terms we used to get in the early days.
How to make cocaine, I think, was one of them.
One of the top search things that brought you to one of our old. For those of you who don't know, one of our old reels was how to make cocaine, and it wound up with
I have no idea why.
One of our KSW picks, which is absolutely not the right audience at all. Back to the fighting. I'm going to take Zagid Gaidarov. I think probably pushing 300 in terms of being a favorite. Bahrainian fighters typically have a big backing, and they're usually being paid pretty good money to come to good training facilities there. And then when you get the film on these two too, because I had to do some pretty extensive film on just about every single fighter on this card because I was not familiar with them. Gaidarov's pretty good. His recent loss, you mentioned he's coming off a loss. That was to Eliezer Kubanza, who's now signed to PFL Africa. He was on Contender Series. I was pretty high on him. He had kind of a rough showing on Contender Series, but he's a really good prospect nevertheless. And when you watch Gaidarov, he was kind of afraid to strike with Kubanza, which makes a lot of sense. And as a result, wasn't letting go. But when you can see him in some of his other fights, he really lets go. He's got a really, really, really hard 2 that comes behind a soft jab. So he almost throws the jab out as a feeler, and he comes with a big 2 behind it. Kind of similar to the way that some of the early alpha male wrestlers used to. He's got a decent wrestling game. A lot of it is trip based, which I can give or take the trip base as long as you've got some pretty, I like an inside trip much more than I like an outside trip because it usually shows a higher level of skill and it's going to work on a better fighter. But he'll go with either of those. And then when I watch Erkinov, the big issue with this guy here is just that there's he has no idea how far he is away from the guy he's fighting. He couldn't have less of an idea. And you see it in the striking. You see him put together a combination, and the combination in and of itself does not look bad, except for it's 5 feet away from the guy he's fighting. And then you're okay, well, that's not going to ever land. So nice combination, but you're way short. And then, later on, you can see the same thing happen in terms of his double leg. He shot a double leg and the guy like matadored him, but like didn't even really have to move all that much to like avoid the takedown. He's shooting from so far away. You know, and so like his combinations look good. You know, I've seen him get inside and get some clinch work, and you know, it seems like he's kind of got some basic wrestling stuff from there. He doesn't seem like a bad fighter, other than, you know, that range winds up being a huge problem for him. And like against a guy like Gaidarov, you know, who can kind of like, you know, heat seeker missile that too behind the jab, and, you know, looks pretty damn good if you do bump into him in the clinch. You know, I think that's a nightmare for a guy who has issues with range. So give me Gaidarov here. My guess, pretty sizable favorite.
All right. The intern looked it up. Looks like you can watch all the live events on Brave TV. So watch.bravecftv.com. $5 a month, $4.99 a month. So pretty good deal, actually, or $40 for a year. So even better. So there you go. All right, the gens, we win you that much money, so you can invest a bit if need be, right? We got some more, not two offs. This is one of the EVs. One of the aforementioned EVs are in the next fight. Once I actually get it on my screen, here we are. We're going down 155 now. Khamzat Maaev, confusing. His nickname is Boris. His name is almost exactly the same, except this one's from Turkey. This fighter's from Turkey. It's hard to search. You have to get creative with his search stuff to find info on him, let me tell you. Mirbek, Zhenishbekov. He is not from Turkey. He is from Kyrgyzstan. They're fighting, as I said, at 155, 3 5-minute rounds. We'll tell you about Zhenishbekov. He's 4-1, 3 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. That means he owes us rounds. This is his debut in either promotion, actually. TKO win in his last bout. That was back in November 2024. Used to fight at welterweight, 170. Maaev, M-A-A-E-V. Boris is the nickname. Great. Picked the same nickname as well. 5-1, 3 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once. He owes his rounds as well. Yanni says this one's going the distance. 2-1 in Brave. Submission win in his last bout. That was back in August of 2024. So both these guys have a bit of a ring rust knockoff here. He's not lost since December 2023. He's fought at 165 and 170. He's 3 inches taller than Zhenishbekov.
So Maaev is, you know, you mentioned the Boris nickname. He is really trying to lean into being the second Khamzat as his like thing. In fact, Brave even like posted a video about him being Khamzat 2.0 fights this weekend, and then he promptly got absolutely ragdolled by this Georgian fighter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like this Georgian fighter just like was like, that's cute, your wrestling sucks. And I can't remember the Russian or the Georgian dude's name. I feel really bad for forgetting it, but I do remember it was like a Georgian guy, and I was like, okay. And like even the fights before that, Maaev is like, he's not like Khamzat. I don't know why he's trying to lean into it. I mean, I guess he kind of looks a little bit like him. He shaves his head and leaves the beard the same way, and you know, I mean, his name is Khamzat, I guess. So like, yeah, I know he's trying to lean into it probably because it draws eyes to him, but like his top wrestling is not particularly strong in my opinion. In fact, he like winds up with a lot of his submissions being from the bottom. I'm like not overwhelmed by his striking too. He throws this like weird combination where his hands, it doesn't look like his body's underneath him too much, and he does this switch stance thing, but he almost always ends with his feet even with one another, which is like a huge problem when you're like defending striking, or if somebody shoots a takedown your way. Like the last thing you want in MMA, well, I guess second to last, you don't want your feet crossed, but you certainly don't want them even either. You know, like that's a really bad news for wrestling. So he's got like all of these issues. With that being said, I think the name value and the fact that he's had all those highlight videos, he's coming off a submission win, like, I think he's going to be a massive favorite. I think like, you know, -400, -500 kind of deal. And I say, you know, it's not that he is fighting a world beater here, because I'm not sold on Zhenishbekov either, but like at that price, you would have to take a swing at an underdog. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here too. I'm going to take Zhenishbekov. And really the big reason is like, I think if he just decides to stay on the feet, I think he pieces him up. We've seen Maaev like tire in the second round pretty quickly, particularly in that fight with the Georgian, but like in any of his fights, he looks like a little worse for the wear pretty quickly. And then in addition to that too, maybe that's him trying to, you know, mimic Khamzat as much as he could. Remember when Khamzat didn't have a second round in him?
Yes, I do remember that.
Early in his career. And then like he also dropped out of his last fight with a health impairments. So
there
like,
you go.
Maybe
he's doing it all.
He's right there. But Zhenishbekov, he's got really good cardio. At first his wrestling was just like kind of all right, and I was like, oh, maybe he can hang with Maaev. But then in his last fight, he really came through with some like much cleaner striking. He got a lot bouncier on his feet, but not that like kind of bouncy that I complain about. That's like not for any good use. He was getting in and out of range well. It was forcing the guy who was fighting him, who really wanted to wrestle, to like make some choices, and he clipped him a couple of times to the hand. So, I think if he can do that to his last opponent and is clearly showing gains there, I just want him to stay out of like top guard against Maaev, because Maev's like triangles and arm bars from there are pretty good. So like as long as he chooses to keep it on the feet, Zhenishbekov, especially if you can get 3-1, 4-1 money, definitely a play here for me.
According to Tapology, you're going to 91% on Maaev.
Yeah, people think this Maaev guy is Khamzat again. And he's, man, I would just encourage anybody who thinks that to just go watch his fight. I'm going to have to, if you've got Tapology open, give me the name of the Georgian guy, because I feel bad that I'm forgetting. I want to say like Abramishvili is the name.
Well, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it sounds like a
stereotype, but
Georgian.
He lost to Nika Kuprashvili.
Kuprashvili.
Kuprashvili, yes.
Okay, shout out to that guy. He ragdolled him, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Both the first and the second time.
Yeah. I guess they don't have any dictators in Turkey. That's the one thing that this Khamzat's missing, right? He needs a strong man.
Isn't Khamzat from Sweden though?
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Swedish dictator. Which
this guy's from Turkey. So,
all right, perfect. All right. Big dog, hopefully. Looks that way at the very least, if Tapology is of any whatever word I'm looking for. Let's tell you about Kalshi. I'm looking for that word. Kalshi. We're just partnered up with Kalshi, a real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. So in all 50 states, you can trade tons of markets in sports, including NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and more. Plus, you can even trade props like first touchdowns. Besides sports, they have tons of other markets, including politics, entertainment. Hell, they even have weather props. Weather up here is frightful. I think they could have predicted that though. Kalshi, you can trade anything. Gumby has some cool things that you can trade. If you check sportsgamblingpodcast.com, check out Gumby's articles that he's been doing on Kalshi. Is that going to be a weekly thing or
it's a weekly thing for the nice. Time being, and we're gonna lean a little bit more into the NBA or the NFL awards market too, so make sure you're keeping an eye on that.
All right, so that's at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. And going back to Kalshi, new Kalshi customers get $20 when they use promo code SGPN. So that's Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. And Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. Underdog has you covered this holiday season with Underdog Unwrapped. You'll unwrap tons of promos all throughout the holidays. Gummy's going to wrap up, and then you can unwrap his winning play for you right now.
Yeah, I've been leaning into the Hawks, Jalen Johnson, and they're playing the Nuggets here on, we're going to say Saturday, because we're going to drop this episode on Saturday. And he has been flirting with or getting a triple-double every single time he's on the court. He's got 4 in the last 5 games, and he was only an assist short in the other one. So let's go with, get this, because you're going to get a nice multiplier on this. Let's go with Jalen Johnson, higher than half a triple-double.
All right. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $75 in bonus funds when you sign up with our code MMA SGPN. Let's go back to Uzbekistan. Not something I say that often, but hey, there you go. We've got some more OVs. Surprised? Nizambek Abdrashitov. Shit is right there in his name, Gumby. Abdrashitov. He's fighting Abdurakhmon Gafurov. So the shit guy, he's from Kyrgyzstan. Is that his nickname? The shit guy, maybe. Gafurov.
I'm not going there. You go there.
Gafurov. He's from Uzbekistan. He can't find me up here in Canada, can he? They're fighting 3 5-minute rounds, 155. I don't care how small he is. I'm not fighting this Shitov guy. All right, Gafurov, 6-3 with 1 no contest, 1 knockout, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. Not durable. 2-0 in ATFC. Win over his last 3. 3-2 with 1 no contest over his last 6. Submission win in his last bout. He has not lost since November 2022. He's fought at 135 and 145. Abdrashitov, 10-3, 4 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted twice. Not durable either. 0-1 and brave. He's won 3 of 4. TKO loss in his last bout. That was back in May of 2023. So he's been out of action for quite a while now, 2.5 years. He's not won since November 2022. He used to fight at 135 and 145. 2015 pro MMA debut. 2 years younger than Gafurov.
You know, sometimes when we do UFC fights and you're like, I don't want to pick either of these guys.
Yes.
I kind of hear on this Abdrashitov versus Gafurov fight because
go with the Ov.
You know, I watched Abdrashitov and like he got knocked out by a flying knee 2 years ago and then just decided not to fight for 2 years. And then Gafurov almost did the exact same thing. That's what I would do. Oh, Gafurov did almost the same thing. He lost in a Niza fight, which is like a bigger promotion out in the Middle East too. You know, he got beaten in a Niza fight, took 2 years off and came back and fought a dude who was 0-0 in his return fight. So like, he's not necessarily like running out here to fight killers either. So like both guys kind of, you know, strike me as like, maybe they need to rethink their career a little bit, but Abdrashitov is ultimately who I'm going to go with. My guess is he's probably the favorite here in like the early -200s. Abdrashitov like throws really nice high kicks. In fact, his kicking game all over is pretty good. He throws them to the body as well. And the thing I like about Abdrashitov is like when he gets taken down, he gets right back up. I do think he's kind of had an issue before with people getting to his hips. Even some of the bad opposition he's fought, like he fought in this organization Open FC, and I just kept seeing this like, you know, 2-3 opponent or something like that get to his hips, and I'm like, man, he really shouldn't be letting him get in there. But I think it was just because he like trusted he could get out of it or get back up if that guy took him down. And then Gafurov, you know, he's a guy who would rather shoot takedowns all the time. You know, I watched him in that fight with the 0-0 guy that he recently had, and like he took the guy down, but the guy got right back up. And it's a guy's first pro fight, which you'd hate to see. But he got right back up. And Gafurov looked like kind of labored after that point. Like he looked kind of tired. And he wound up finishing with like a very BJJ 101 Kimura. And you're like, I don't know. So like, is that going to keep working against people? And he goes to the Kimura a lot, which is just like, it's just like such a low percentage MMA move for me. So for me, I think Gafurov's probably going to shoot takedowns. And even if he gets to the hips of Abdrashitov early, I think Abdrashitov is just going to work his way back up, and then you're going to see like a very exhausted Gafurov. And if that's the case, like Abdrashitov should like just rip him with kicks until he wins. So I'm going to take Abdrashitov based on cardio and kicks, but 2 years off after being flying knee KO'd certainly is not cause for super confidence.
Yep. Okay. We were to our co-main event again. Sardor, not again, for the first time. Sardor. Let me see. Khudoyberdiev.
Yeah.
Khudoyberdiev. Koshen Akanov. 3 5-minute rounds, 145. Khudoyberdiev is from Uzbekistan. Everyone's from there on this card, though. Akanov, he is from Kazakhstan. 3 5-minute rounds, 145. We'll tell you about the Kazakhstani fighter, the Kazakh fighter Akanov, 6-1 with 1 no contest, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. This is his debut in either promotion. He's won 2 of 3 submission loss in his last bout. However, that was in one championship, the biggest promotion in the world, where he went 0-1. He's fought at 135, 155, 5 years younger than Khudoyberdiev. He's an inch taller. Khudoyberdiev, Tiger. Finally, we have our first nickname of the fight card. Tiger is 9-3, 2 knockouts, 3 submissions. He has been submitted once. This is his debut as well. In either promotion, he's won 2 straight and 4 of 5. TKO win in his last bout. Regional champ. He's fought at 155.
So I think Khudoyberdiev is probably going to be the favorite here. I would say in the high ones, though. I don't think this will crack 2 because Akanov did fight for 1 FC. And it's actually that 1 FC fight that really gives me faith in Khudoyberdiev here. Because if you watch that fight with Akanov, like a lot of his early fights, he's really good in the wrestling game. You know, kind of a theme we see here in this fight card. But like a lot of inside trips, has a decent double leg. In that one fight, though, he got like his opponent sprawled a little bit and they scrambled, and it like really messed him up. Like he looked like he was so used to just scoring every single takedown that when somebody countered him with it and somebody made him work defensively, he looked completely out of his element. He looked like he didn't know what to do. And Khudoyberdiev like has that in him. Like if you watch his last fight, he gets taken down early in the fight. He pops back up pretty quickly. And then the second time his opponent goes to shoot on him, he sprawls, back takes, and chokes him out. His jiu-jitsu is really sharp. He's got nice scrambling himself. His jiu-jitsu is pretty high level, which I think is a big thing here against Akanov. Like if you're going to beat this guy, that's how you're going to do it. And then the other thing I like is that Khudoyberdiev like really rips the front leg and Akanov is like real heavy on the front foot. So like as long as it stays on the feet, I think you're going to see Akanov taking a lot of damage to that lead leg. And then after he takes damage to that lead leg, that's only going to make those takedowns a little bit harder and much easier for Khudoyberdiev to get to the back or to scramble or to get a front headlock submission here against Akanov. So Khudoyberdiev is going to be the pick, and my guess is slight favorite.
All right, slight favorite. I thought you said higher, so that's good. Slight favorite. We shall.
I said high ones.
Okay, high ones. Right. Okay, that's what I thought. All right, we are going to get to the main event after I tell you about Novig. It's Novig. We're brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig, you're getting the best prices because they have reduced juice on bets. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. And Rhythm, RITHMM. Rhythm has crushed NFL this season, especially on props. They've been really good at identifying when to fade players and take those unders. College basketball is up and running, and with 300 plus schools, Rhythm has predictions for every game, every night. Pairs nicely with the college experience shows with Mac, Colby, and Noah. That way, every game, you'll be prepared. It's super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house model, or make your own and play with the sliders. With so many sports and the holidays, this makes it easy to get an elite prediction on a game. That way you can focus on other things, like gambling on other sports. Gumby, do you have an elite prediction or even a mediocre prediction?
Yeah, let's go back to that Hawks-Nuggets game. I'll take the Hawks. Since Trae Young's been down for most of the season, they've surprisingly looked pretty good. I think they're going to surprise the Nuggets here. So give me them. I don't even need the points. Give me them on the money line.
All right. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. So download Rhythm, RITHMM, promo code SGPN25. And we're to our main event, and that would be 155. That would be lightweight. Rizwan Ali is from Pakistan. He is the lone of or EV that we're covering on this card. Nozim Kalandarov, he is from Uzbekistan. They are fighting, as I said, at lightweight, 3 5-minute rounds because no titles are on the line. Tell you about the hometown fighter first. Kalandarov, Bukhara Warrior is 7-2, 2 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 3-1 in ATFC and the current champion there. He's won 2 straight and 7 of 8. Used to fight at 145. Ali Paquito Warrior, 11-0, 5 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's 2-0 in Brave, TKO win in his last bout. He's fought at 135, 145, 165, 1-0 in Pro Karate, 2 inches taller than Kalandarov, excuse me.
So this is an interesting one for me because usually, like, we're talking about an ATFC champ, which is like one of the promotions that's running. Guy's name ends in OV, but on the other side, you got a guy who's got an undefeated record, maybe doesn't have the OV, but has also fought for Brave a couple of times, who's the other promotion highlighting it. I have to say that I think Ali is supposed to be the favorite here. Like, I think they're trying to make him the A side. Mm-hmm. So, like, you would want to guess that he's going to be a favorite. I looked at the Tapology on ones on this one because I was like, Ali's probably a favorite, but it's probably very close. And then the poll numbers was nuts, right? It was like 90% Ali.
90%, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy because I'm going to go with Kalandarov. And originally I wrote down plus 180. If those odds are, if those Tapology things have anything to say about it, like maybe you get him at, 2.5, 3 to 1 money. And I think it's a steal because look, Ali has got dynamite in his hands. That's the reason people are in on this guy. If you watch a lot of his fights, you probably get the highlight reels. You see the knockouts. He's very, very, very powerful. But I've got 2 issues with his power. Number one, it does take him a little while to find the range. Sometimes it can take him almost a whole round to like really decide where his opponent is. And to my knowledge, this is not a title fight. So we're already working at only 3 rounds and he's probably laying the first one up. My second problem is his takedown defense is awful. It's like really bad. Like if you watch his fight in Brave, he fought this dude who was 7-7. And I watched the replay. He actually beat the guy twice, to be fair. He wound up beating him 2 times in a row. And he was getting dominated in the one I was watching. He got taken down in the first, beat up on the ground, taken down in the second, and eventually he lets his hands go and just like knocks this dude out once he's found the range. What's going to happen though when one of those guys get on top of him, like Kalandarov, and he can finish him? Because Kalandarov, great takedown game, super, super, super heavy hips. He's quick to your hips. And in addition to that, too, one of the first notes I wrote down when I was watching Kalandarov take is expert range. Like, this guy gets range early and he understands it really well, both from a grappling sense and a striking sense. He knows where his opponent is and how close he needs to be and where he needs to get to, which is the opposite of Ali early. So, like, first of all, maybe he tags him early. You know, he's not as powerful as Ali. I'll give you that. Maybe he tags him early, but even if he doesn't, he probably sets up the takedowns, which Ali has historically had trouble with. So give me Kalandarov here. I think he is going to surprise at least the tapologists.
Nice. All right, recap. Kalandarov, Khudoyberdiev, Abdrashitov, Zhenishbekov, and Gaidarov. That's a lot of ovs and a lot of fun names to say. All right, Gumby, lightning round. Not much to choose from. Do you have plays for the other two fights or not?
Sure. I got Ismail Khan. He's a Pakistani fighter who his nickname's Volcano. A lot of fun. So he's 11-1, and while I, sort of ragged on Ali, the other Pakistani fighter who we talked about here, Khan, very good wrestler. Sort of like shockingly good, because I don't know too much about wrestling in Pakistan, but he really surprised me with it, and his hands are fast, similarly to the way Ali. I actually think he's a much better prospect, despite being buried on the prelims here at 11-1. The other one I'm going to take is Zukridin Gafurov. He is 5-3 in his career and is on a 3-fight losing streak, which might be a reason a lot of people choose to fade him here, and maybe we get good odds on him. But all three of those losses are stepping up in competition and fighting over an ACA, which is a big Russian promotion. And they're kind of giving him the step back down treatment here. And I've always thought he was kind of a good prospect, but just kind of got too much to handle at 5-0. And now he's sitting at 5-3, and maybe we can exploit that. So that's Zukridin, Gaidarov, and Ismail Khan as my two lightning round plays.
Are we going to see any of these fighters in the UFC someday, do you think?
With Brave, usually a guy or two comes over, but none of these guys are in their title picture yet. So it usually takes a little bit before we can tell. So I would have to see not just them win on a co-promoted card in Uzbekistan, but then get invited to one of the big cards in Bahrain or Jordan before I thought we were going to see that.
All right. You're set for, we told you how to watch it. We told you what to watch for. You're all set now. You can get more of us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, on the old YouTube, MMA Gambling Podcast, Twitter, X, we're at SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer, at Jeff Fox Writer on Instagram. My Substack, moneymma.substack.com. Gumby's other podcast, Top Turtle MMA. I just listened to his most recent episode. It's a fun one because tell the people why it's fun.
Well, we had Will Fleury and
that was last week, right? Actually,
yeah, Guram Gokachvili, who should be fighting around this time. But next week, or this week coming up, because we're giving you this on Saturday.
That's right. This is Saturday, right?
Yeah, next week you're going to see an episode with Giannis McGard, who is fighting at Octagon, as well as, I'm pretty sure we're still solidifying the details, but you might see the striking Viking Caitlin Young talking about becoming a coach.
All right. So check it out, Top Turtle. And of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. We'll be back tomorrow, probably. Yeah, we got some Octagon to cover. A couple episodes of Octagon for you Octagon heads out there. Until then, Jeff Foxoff says bye-bye, as does Daniel Gumby Vreeland. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.